The story of Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 is a modern enigma, a tale of vanishing that defies our hyper-connected world. On the night of March 8, 2014, the Boeing 777 prepared for a routine flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. Aboard were 227 passengers, a collection of souls from all corners of the globe, each with a story. 12 crew members were tasked with their safety, unaware of the fate that awaited them. At 12:42 a.m., the aircraft, registration line MH370, ascended into the dark Malaysian sky. The initial climb and cruise proceeded without any reported incident or anomaly. The cabin was likely quiet, with passengers settling in for the overnight journey. At 1:19 a.m., as the plane approached Vietnamese airspace, a final, calm message was received. "Good night, Malaysian 370, were the last words from the cockpit. Shortly after, the plane's transponder, which communicates with air traffic control, went silent. It vanished from civilian radar screens, a digital ghost slipping into the night. Military radar, however, tracked the plane for another hour. It deviated sharply from its planned flight path, making a deliberate turn back to the west. The aircraft then turned south, flying for hours beyond its intended destination. This deviation was not random. It appeared to be intentional and controlled. For 7 hours, the plane continued its silent, phantom journey. A British satellite company, Inmarsat, detected a series of hourly pings from the aircraft. These pings were automated handshakes, the plane's system signaling it was still operational. Analysis of these signals suggested 2 possible flight corridors, one north and one south. The northern route would have taken it over heavily militarized and monitored airspace. The southern corridor, over the vast and empty Indian Ocean, was deemed far more likely. The final ping placed the aircraft somewhere along a massive arc in the Southern Sea. This revelation triggered one of the largest and most expensive search efforts in aviation history. Ships and aircraft from numerous nations converged on the remote stretch of ocean. The search area was immense, the conditions treacherous, and the goal, a needle in a haystack. Weeks turned into months, and months into years, with no sign of the main wreckage. The official underwater search was eventually suspended, leaving families in limbo. This lack of answers created a fertile ground for conspiracy theories to bloom. The first and most prominent theory points to the pilot, Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah. Investigators discovered a home flight simulator in his house. Deleted data from the simulator showed a flight path eerily similar to the one MH370 is believed to have taken. This led to the chilling hypothesis of a deliberate mass murder-suicide. Proponents argue the flight's movements were too precise to be accidental. The way the plane skirted airspace boundaries suggested a pilot actively avoiding detection. However, no motive was ever established for such a horrific act. Friends and family described the captain as a kind, gentle, and passionate aviator. The theory remains a dark stain on his legacy, unproven yet impossible to dismiss entirely. Another popular theory involves a remote hijacking, a so-called cyber hijack. This idea posits that someone took control of the plane's systems from the ground. Speculation centered on a patent by Boeing for an uninterruptible autopilot system. This technology could, in theory, allow an external party to fly the plane. The motive for such a hijack could have been valuable cargo or a high-profile passenger. The cargo manifest did list a large shipment of lithium-ion batteries. However, Boeing has never confirmed such a remote system was installed on any commercial 777. The cyber hijack theory, while technologically intriguing, lacks concrete evidence. A more explosive theory suggests the plane was deliberately shot down. The prime suspect in this scenario is often the U.S. military base at Diego Garcia. This theory claims the plane was flying towards the highly sensitive naval base. Fearing a 9/11-style attack, the military may have taken preemptive action. Some alleged eyewitnesses in the Maldives reported seeing a low-flying jumbo jet. The U.S. government has consistently and vehemently denied these accusations. Furthermore, debris analysis is inconsistent with a crash near Diego Garcia. In July 2015, a piece of the plane's wing, a flaperon, washed ashore on Reunion Island. This was the first definitive proof that the plane had indeed crashed. Ocean current analysis confirmed the debris likely drifted from the southern Indian Ocean search area. This discovery debunked theories of the plane landing intact. Yet some theorists remain unconvinced, suggesting the debris was planted. The landed safely theory proposes the plane was secretly flown to a remote location. Kazakhstan was floated as a possible destination, due to its position on the northern corridor. The motive would be to hold the plane and its passengers for some future purpose. This scenario, however, would require an incredible level of international conspiracy and silence. A less sinister but equally tragic theory is that of a ghost flight. This scenario suggests a fire or sudden decompression incapacitated the crew. The plane, on autopilot, would have continued flying until it ran out of fuel. This would explain the long flight time and the eventual crash in a remote area. The fire could have been caused by the shipment of lithium-ion batteries in the cargo hold. Such fires are known to be intense and difficult to extinguish on an aircraft. This theory aligns with the known facts without requiring malicious intent. However, it doesn't fully explain the deliberate shutdown of the transponder and the specific turns. Each theory has its proponents, its evidence, and its glaring holes. The official investigation concluded that the turnback was deliberate, but they could not determine who was in control or why. The final report, released in 2018, offered no new conclusions. It left the world with the same profound uncertainty it started with. The families of the 239 people on board, the pain is unending. They are trapped in a state of ambiguous loss, without closure or peace. Many have dedicated their lives to pushing for a continued search. They believe the truth is still out there, waiting to be found in the deep. Private companies have launched their own searches, driven by new technology and a will to solve the mystery. But the southern Indian Ocean is one of the most remote and inhospitable places on Earth. The search area is a place of crushing pressure and eternal darkness. The disappearance of MH370 exposed vulnerabilities in modern aviation, highlighted how easily a plane could be made to disappear, even in the 21st century. Changes have been made since, including better aircraft tracking standards. But for MH370, these changes came too late. The mystery endures, a scar on the face of modern history. It is a story with a beginning but no end. A puzzle with too many missing pieces. Was it a tragic accident, a malicious act, or a state-sponsored cover-up? Each possibility is as terrifying as the last. The truth about Flight 370 may never be known for certain. It remains a ghost story for the modern age. A chilling reminder that some questions may never have answers. The plane was not just lost from radar, it was lost from our reality. Its disappearance created a void that speculation rushed to fill. The internet became a breeding ground for amateur sleuths and theorists. Every detail, from the passenger list to the cargo, was scrutinized. 20 semiconductor engineers were on board, fueling industrial espionage theories. Could they have been the target of a sophisticated abduction? This theory suggests the plane was forced to land at a hidden base. The engineers and their knowledge would then be exploited. Like other theories, it is a compelling narrative with little factual support. The co-pilot, Farik Hamid, also came under scrutiny. He was younger and less experienced than the captain. Reports emerged of him inviting passengers into the cockpit on a previous flight. This painted a picture of unprofessionalism, but not malice. No evidence has ever linked him to the plane's disappearance. The search for MH370 pushed the boundaries of underwater exploration. Autonomous underwater vehicles scanned thousands of square kilometers of seabed. They found shipwrecks from the 19th century, but not the 777. These discoveries were historical footnotes in a modern tragedy. The failure to find the wreckage is perhaps the most confounding part of the mystery. How can an object so large simply vanish from the face of the earth? This question haunts the aviation industry and the public alike. More pieces of debris have been found over the years, washed up on African coastlines. Each piece confirms the crash but offers few clues about the cause. Was the plane in control at the moment of impact, or was it an uncontrolled dive? Analysis of the flaperon suggested it was not deployed for landing. This points towards a high-speed, uncontrolled impact with the ocean. Such an impact would have shattered the aircraft into countless pieces. This explains the lack of a single, large wreckage site. The black boxes, the flight data and cockpit voice recorders are key. They hold the definitive answers to what happened in the final moments. Their batteries, however, would have died about a month after the crash. They now lie silent, waiting in the crushing dark of the abyss. Without them, the narrative is left to be written by theorists and investigators. The Malaysian government's handling of the crisis drew sharp criticism. Initial communications were confused and often contradictory. This fueled distrust and gave rise to accusations of a cover-up. Was incompetence or conspiracy at the heart of the confusion? This question adds another layer of intrigue to the already dense mystery. The story of MH370 is a cautionary tale for the modern world. It shows that technology has not conquered all the world's mysteries. It reminds us of the vast, untamed wilderness that still exists on our planet. It leaves us with a profound sense of loss for 239 souls. Their final journey ended in a question mark. A question that may echo, unanswered, for eternity.